Well, it is really coming down out there. The snow has hit New Mexico and the metro.
There's a lot of school delays and closures, and you can find them all at the bottom of your screen throughout the night. We have live team coverage to show you what it's been like out there tonight. Our crews have covered almost 300 miles of interstate and the streets of Albuquerque. We start with News 13's Alex Goldsmith. He's live at I-25 and Tramway with a look at what I-25 is like all the way up to Raton. Alex?
Jessica, here on the north part of the metro, it's downright calm right now. No rain or snow coming down, and the roads, well, let's just call them damp. But further up north, earlier this evening, it was a little dicier. This is what it looks like driving near La Bajada. While most of it was melting as it fell, as the temperatures dip, expect more of that snow to start sticking. At the bottom of the hill, we saw DOT plows looping back onto southbound I-25, ready to make another pass. Earlier in the night, one driver told us roads closer to the metro were actually trickier.
It was actually more difficult between Albuquerque and Bernalillo than it was coming up La Bajada, and La Bajada had all the trucks on it, but as you came up through Bernalillo, it was kind of the freezing fog kind of stuff.
Even farther up north on I-25, it was much heavier between Las Vegas and Raton. Our crews up there caught a plow battling the snow, trying to clear the way. They tell us roads were barely passable in some areas, especially around the passes. Now, in my experience driving that Santa Fe to Albuquerque stretch, it was really visibility that was the biggest concern for much of the night. But as these temperatures start to dip, expect to see ice overtake that as a concern. Back to you.
All right, Alex, thank you. Lizzie Mitri and her photographer, Lex Stanfield, have been scouting out I-40 tonight from Albuquerque all the way into the East Mountains. Lizzie?
Dean, if you take a look over here, we've got some snow on the ground, but the main thing right now is the wind. It's really starting to pick up. As you can see, our camera's moving a little bit and the temperatures are starting to drop. Now, let's take a look at what it looked like earlier going east on I-40 near Cedillo Hill. Pretty heavy snow coming down. It was sticking to the roads there. We saw a snowplow go by trying to help with some of that, but one driver we spoke with still described the road conditions as treacherous. He said he actually drove into a ditch.
And it's very, very slick out there, very dangerous. If you don't need to go out, I wouldn't advise going out.
We had trouble seeing visibility, weren't sure about the slickness of the roads. A lot of traffic kicking up moisture that was making it hard to see visibility, so we pulled over.
You can see from the video it was pretty windy out there too, blowing that snow around. Now right here the traffic is moving pretty nicely. The roads are a little wet, but no snow there. Dean, back to you.
All right, that's actually me, Lizzie. Thank you. Albuquerque saw fairly steady snow for a few hours tonight too. As News 13's Tina Jensen shows you, people are enjoying it. Tina?
Well, Jessica, when this all started, most people, of course, were bundled up trying to go inside and hurrying to get back in from downtown to Nob Hill and uptown, where except for a few dedicated shoppers, drivers were lining up in the exit lanes. But if anyone is going to head outside, it's college students. At UNM tonight, Johnson Field turned into a winter wonderland where there were plenty of snowball fights and lots of snowmen all over the field.
They're kind of gross looking, but I mean, they're a good time. So they're a little uneven as well, but I mean, they're better than nothing, you know?
Well, I was actually going to do homework, and then I guess we're always used to doing homework, so it's kind of nice to come out and actually play and stuff.
In your young life, how many times have you built snowmen?
Probably once. This is the first successful one, I would say.
As for that homework they were going to do, they won't get any extra time because of the weather. Unlike many schools across the state, UNM has not announced any kind of delayed opening, at least not yet. Back to you.
All right, Tina, thank you. And in Santa Fe, the plaza coated with snow tonight. The roads around the plaza icy and dicey. Even people walking around taking it easy there as the sidewalks and the streets are covered in some pretty slick snow. And this was the scene up north in Taos today. You can see the roads covered in snow and driving there treacherous, but the snow plows were out clearing the way for drivers. So just how much more will we see across the state overnight? Here's Chief Meteorologist Mark Ronchetti.
Well, you guys, what's interesting about this storm system is it's actually going to come in two different pieces. One piece is working its way through as we speak, and we got that first round of snow. The next piece on its way in. So we have those winter storm warnings all across the northern mountains, northeast and eastern New Mexico as a whole. Meanwhile, here in the metro area, winter weather advisories. Those go down through Socorro and Las Cruces and up into Rio Arriba County as well. As far as the snow goes, and you probably saw it in Lisay's live shot, we are starting to rip the winds again. So what's happening here is we're getting the snow hole over the metro area, but notice out in western Bernalillo County, more snow is starting to break out as we start to bring this next system down. So it's going to be a battle between this next system and the very, very windy conditions in the metro. We'll get into that battle and exactly what we anticipate happening in your full forecast, but you can see the expansion of snow along the Jemez right now, and we're starting to see that shoot down toward the Rio Grande Valley. Meanwhile, out to the east here, Santa Rosa over to Tucumcari, we're picking up steady snow at this point. We're likely to see that snow and bands of it begin to work into Chaves County. We're starting to see that expand to some degree, but much more on the way. So coming up in your full forecast, we will break down the percentage odds that APS will be canceled. We'll also break down your full odds and exactly what's going to happen with this storm in full detail in just a few minutes.
Roads are bad, and they are only going to get worse overnight. For the latest road conditions, go to KRQE.com or call the state's hotline 511. And tune in to KRQE News 13 this morning starting at 4:30 for a look at what to expect on your morning commute, as well as we also mentioned that we'll be scrolling school closures and delays all night long at the bottom of your screen. We also have them listed on our KRQE.com app.